Don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good.
And in 3, 2, 1, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 6 of the 7th annual 12 podcast of Christmas. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Francois the Nation.
I'm Andrew Sorsdahl.
And I'm Cassius Clay. We're halfway there, as Bon Jovi once said. Saw a video or a meme on the internet not that long ago where somebody had said, God, by now, Bon Jovi must be getting close.
Like to death?
Because in the 80s, he was halfway there. By Job. And then there was also a petition to rename Neil Young to Neil Old.
That would be fucking really funny.
It got over 100,000 signatures, I'm fairly
But
certain.
if there's one thing Neil Young doesn't care about, it's critics or his fans or his family or friends. He only cares about the art of music.
And he
and
cares
that's why.
about the needle and the damage done.
When's the last time Neil Young wrote new music?
He recently released an album. Some of it was covers, other was original music. He purchased it was like a recording booth that was like a phone booth kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And apparently they had them like in the 30s and 40s where you could go down to a record shop and put a nickel in and then record onto an LP, like a thing that you wanted to record. Mm-hmm. So he bought one and recorded an entire album inside of it. One of the songs happened to be Gordon Lightfoot's Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh, wow.
So he did, interestingly enough, Gordon Lightfoot and Neil Young, two huge Canadian icons in folk music, have never collaborated on a project even one time.
Was Neil Young, like, I'm trying to think of famous Neil Young collaborations. Can you name a few off the top of your head?
I can.
Is he big on collaboration at all?
He has collaborated in a group called Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. And
is that a collaboration or is that just a band? Like,
no, they're not a band.
No, that would be a super.
He's also done Nash and Young, and Stills and Young, but Crosby and Young have never done anything. There's never been a CY.
It's not like a one-off thing. It's like it's not like it was one song that they decided to collaborate.
For anybody who's really interested, I get really, really into music documentaries, especially short documentaries. YouTube has a CSNY documentary. It's like a poorly uploaded piece of junk. Like, it doesn't look amazing or anything, but it's really informative. And they talk about how like Neil Young would go on tour and then he would just leave a letter. It's like, not feeling it. Sorry guys, I'm not on this tour anymore. So that, like, he did some collaborative stuff like that. I mean, he's definitely featured on a few things before, but
You should check out. Speaking of music, like short documentaries. Sorry to cut you off there. You should check out Holly Hobbs on YouTube. He has like I don't know, like 20 plus these little documentaries about the Beatles and different aspects of their history, and like all just kind of like starting with them immediately and then going into like tertiary stuff that like you might find interesting specifically.
I think the CSNY one is a VH1 behind the music.
I was just like an independent guy.
And then I also recommend the Guess Who one, which is really good. Again, is really poorly ripped, very low quality, probably from some TV thing from the 90s. But it kind of revolves around the centerpiece for the entire thing is that Burton Cummings was asked to join whatever the hell Ringo Starr's super band is called. Like, they have multiple iterations. Have you ever heard of Ringo Starr is like, it's called like Ringo Starr's Fantastical Band of the Greatest Talent of All Time. And
he's in it?
He does it like every 5 years, and he like picks new people to be in it, like the who's who of like, and then they play singles from each of the person's bands as a big group. And obviously Ringo sings and plays drums.
Sings.
He's not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
I think it was yesterday, I watched a Vice expose on crystal methamphetamines, and
I saw the promo image for that is very
hipster.
the one I saw was just a picture of somebody's mouth.
Oh yeah. So that's kind of
yeah.
what they intro with, is they intro about how that's just a complete myth. Like the meth teeth is just complete myth.
Your heart was shattered.
Me, yeah, I was like, man, that sucks. Like I thought that was a
formula.
surefire formula to get somebody looking real nice. But no, a part of the documentary that I thought was really interesting was they were talking about the Beatles. They were just talking about the rise of meth and just like the history of it. And they were talking about the Beatles and about how in that era before they started doing they're famous for doing psychedelics. Like that's what people know them for. But before that, they were fucking fucked up on speed and meth all the time. And it's like Elvis, them. It's like everybody in that era. I want to say it was like they probably started doing psychedelics like late 60s or mid to late 60s. But it's like before that, when they just started on the rise, they were all fucking high on meth
like
all the time.
Johnny Cash was a speedhead and Elvis was a speedhead.
Yeah, and it's like the big thing in the documentary was just about like
Oh, it felt awesome.
it's just like how like the misinformation spread about drugs, and it's like how it affects different drugs, and it's how it's like with marijuana we've seen like the decline of misinformation, and like now it's like everybody's doing fucking weed or smoking weed all the time. And they're saying they weren't saying it's like meth is the same as weed, but they were just using that as the example of like this is how misinformation was spread, and like this is the actual the facts
Well, it's
of the
nice
matter.
to see them come out and say like
Meth
is not that bad for you. It makes
It's
you
really
feel,
good.
It makes you feel
But no,
super fucking.
Well, they were
good.
saying their point was that it's like the perception of meth shifted so dramatically during the 60s and 70s when it was known as this like it's a working man's drug, like it's what the bands are doing, and it's like what you do to be really productive. Like that's what it was perceived as, this like
Pervitin.
thing. And it's like World War II is a big one too. It's like all the fucking Nazis were on, all the Blitzkrieg Nazis were on meth the whole time. So it's like during the early 20th century, meth was perceived as this is what's going to get work. This is for the working man. This is what gets shit done and gets things going. And then it had this huge shift started shifting in the 60s and 70s, and then in the 80s and the 90s especially. Then it was like, look, it'll make you into Gollum. And it's like, so anyways, this short clip just like charted that shift and like what caused that shift. But the only reason I brought it up was the fact that they brought up the Beatles and the fact that the Beatles were high on meth apparently throughout the 50s and 60s. I'm like, that's fucking
Well, the modern
awesome.
now what would have been meth, back then, or amphetamines back then, is ADHD medication. That's all ADHD medication.
Yeah,
like
I think
Adderall, all that stuff is just
I think any of those
micro doses of
those
amphetamines.
stereotypes of like all these like toothless people with crazy hair, and it's like that's not the meth. It's just like I think that when you're really hooked on meth, your priorities change.
That's exactly what it is.
It's like you don't care as much about brushing.
It's more about addiction in general than
Well, yeah, you're not spending your money on self hygiene anymore. You're
or your
spending money
time
on
or
meth. Yeah, it's like it just becomes a non-priority.
it's the same. It would be the same thing in maybe different, probably manifest in different ways. But with heroin addiction or any type of pill, any type of addiction is like hand in hand with depression. What happens with depression? Your personal hygiene starts declining. So it doesn't surprise me if you're all fucked up all the time on anything that you your health and personal hygiene are just gonna.
Oh yeah, that was basically the point. It was like it's like no, everybody shouldn't start going to doing meth, but it's like it is false to say that meth causes bad teeth. It's like you could do meth every day and never have bad teeth if you just paid attention to your teeth like the average person pays attention to their teeth.
I think that the only thing that's different about meth, or why this stereotype exists, is because just like cigarettes, meth, but even more so than cigarettes, like meth smoke is harsh on your teeth. So if you're fucking smoking meth and not taking care of your teeth, they're going to decline. Just like if
it'll exasperate not brushing.
Just like if you fucking drink coffee and red wine and smoke cigarettes and drink pop all the time, all together without taking care of your teeth, you're gonna have a fucking jacked up mouth.
Oh yeah, it's like Brad said. It's like it's not going to be the root cause. Like obviously, that not brushing your teeth is going to be the root cause of your decay, but it's like it will exasperate the problem big time.
Speaking of,
sorry, you keep trying to segue before we finish. No, it's fine.
No, I want you to continue.
I was just gonna say, like, I think provably now the biggest factor with your, other than like not saying brushing your teeth doesn't matter, but the main factor is your genetics. And if you have good genetics, your teeth are going to be good even if you.
No, I can totally attest to that because it's like I know kids who were like brushed my teeth after every meal, like 2 or 3 times a day. And I went to the dentist, like I'm like a brush twice or once a day type guy. Like often, most of the time I would say I'm brushing my teeth once a day just because like I brush my teeth when I shower or right before bed. So it's like if I always go to bed, so it's like you usually brush my teeth before bed, but it's like if I shower and go to bed.
People on meth have different. They don't go to bed.
Well, it's like if I shower and go to bed, then it's like I'm probably brushing my teeth twice. That would be a safe bet because I usually brush my teeth like right after I got out of the shower because I'm in the bathroom already. But I knew people who were like way more adamant about their dental health and like flossing and all that shit. But it's like I have never been to I've never had a cavity. Every time and to be fair, I haven't been to the dentist in a little while, but throughout all the years that I had regular dentist checkups, never had a cavity, never had any problems. They were like, you have beautiful teeth, it's great. And that's like these people that took such like excellent care of their teeth, cavities, getting shit pulled, getting all the time. And it's like, that sucks. Like
it's also very interesting going to the dentist with insurance and without. And like when you go without insurance, it's like, yeah, you have like maybe 1 cavity. With insurance, it's like, oh, there's 12 or 13 cavities we could fill today. And I think to a certain extent, if there's probably a lot more work they're willing to do.
Oh yeah, if you could
have
fucking
insurance.
get some of that free government money, why not? Or whatever, insurance money.
Speaking of tooth decay
He's mean and he hurts.
and being fucked up on drugs, let's do another edition of
Name that tune.
What I'm going to suggest for some
episode 7.
maybe
clip
for
7.
for some drama, and also because I don't have the last 3 clips downloaded on my phone, and their clips are currently not on the quick swap anymore on the NAS.
Oh, I thought you had them all downloaded.
I did not.
Delete them all. Oh no,
No, I didn't touch them.
You moved them to your personal folder.
No, I didn't do nothing.
They're not on the quick swap
Oh, wait.
anymore.
Oh, wait, what did you tell me to do? Yeah, no, I remember.
Personal folder.
I didn't download. I just downloaded them as I needed them onto my
Maybe
phone.
they are in my personal folder.
It's fine. I think.
Why did we do that again?
For
So I couldn't cheat.
Oh, right.
I wanted to indiscernibly prove that I did.
Yeah, Brad told me to move them so
I
that
thought you had
he
the right-
doesn't cheat.
I trusted you. I would
No,
know.
he didn't trust himself.
No. I just wanted indiscernible witnessed proof. That
I
did
see.
not tamper
Good.
with the results.
Okay.
Which actually made me worry more because I'm like, yeah, but you could have already cheated.
I mean, I had like all the episodes I used like right on my notebook. So
So it's like
what I'm going to
I think you'll
suggest
find
is
out when I don't know the episode numbers that I didn't cheat.
maybe you're
what
very
I
convincing.
was going to suggest is maybe for some
Add a drama.
drama,
You had said.
we'll do my 3 this episode and do your 3 to finish off the series with the next episode.
Oh, you're gonna fucking get them all done. Episode 7 will be all done.
So we'll know what my points are. We'll know exactly what Brad needs to score with his next 3
I see.
to either come back or
I
not.
like that.
I think that's an
If
interesting.
you could cue up that clip number 7,
So,
I'm going to get ready to play
Could
it forever.
you? Are we at a stage now where, like, let's say you nail the next 3, because that would make it impossible for Brad to come back.
if I get 4 on
So we
4
could
points.
possibly force a concession in this episode.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I
yeah.
absolutely will not concede, even if the math is against me. If
You'll
any-
demand a recount.
I will demand a recount in Wisconsin.
Okay, so
No,
let's just.
California.
I still have both of my re-listens for this section, but I have used my watch. Have I? No,
No, you haven't. You haven't done anything.
no. You have used.
You
your
get 2
watch,
re-listens.
but just re-listen, and one rewatch, and one watch, not rewatch.
Okay, we're going to play that clip.
Which
3?
clip?
Clip number 7. He's already
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Sir, we have a security breach. What? There's an unauthorized entry alert. It's coming from Sector 2. Sector 2?
Okay, that is from Imagination Land 2. And that is season 12, episode 14.
Season 11, episode 11.
11. Fuck. Okay. But the general plot, do I have to do the whole thing or just episode 2?
I was going to let you just describe Imagination Land. I want to know what happens in episode 2.
So specifically what's happened. So if I give context, is that enough? So what happened in 1 and what's going to happen in 3. So what's happened in episode 1 is they've been taken to Imagination Land. The terrorist attack has happened. And Cartman is trying to break into the government lab where they're holding the portal. And he's looking for Kyle because Kyle has to suck his balls. And this is before the Man Bear Pig attack where Kyle gets killed or like dies for a second. And it's after they've been rescued from Imagination Land. Like they're on their way back, and Butters is still trapped in Imagination Land with everything going on.
That is correct. Now, unfortunately, I will concede that was my most difficult of my 3 remaining clips. So this is going to get ugly.
That was only 2 points I got for it.
Producer, would you mind cutting our audio while the clip is playing just so I can adjust my microphone? Thank you.
We good?
And we're going to play clip number 5 in 3, 2, 1.
I was just wondering, are you by chance a pleasure model?
What?
Well, have you been programmed to satisfy the urges of humans?
Oh, that's just a treat of one that you picked. That is from the Awesome-O episode of South Park. That would be my robot friend.
Season episode?
Yeah, so that's oh god, I'm trying to remember if it's season. I think it's season. Is it 10 or 12? Fuck.
Neither.
I think it is. Why would you tell me that? Then okay, it's season 8, episode 8.
No, but it is season 8, episode 5. But I'm not giving you episode season either because you guessed 2, and then I gave you.
I didn't guess. I said, is it season 10 or season 12? And I was
Pick
thinking
one or the other. Would neither of them work correct?
Okay, fair enough. I have to describe the episode, or is my robot friend enough to get me there?
Well, for the audience who doesn't know, describe the
okay.
episode.
Something's playing right now.
What?
Miles ago was playing.
Nice.
For the audience who doesn't know, Awesome-O, it's Cartman pulls another prank on Butters where he pretends to be a robot he dresses in a cardboard robot outfit and pretends he's gonna get Butters and trick him again, and then he finds out that Butters has the secret tape of him dancing like Britney Spears in his backyard, and a cardboard cutout of Justin Timberlake. And so in order to find the tape, he has to commit to being a robot for this whole episode. And like Butters takes him to visit his aunt in California, and all the adults just kind of go along with it, even though they know that he's
they are convinced.
No, the parents, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
The parents are all like, it's so sweet how they play robot. And they get to California.
And then everyone thinks
and then everyone actually, all the movie producers think he's a real robot.
And the military.
And the scientist dies, and Mr. Scientist.
And one of the most amazing
So
parts
good.
is that clip that I showed where that guy's a movie producer and
The movie producer leaves, he's like, can everyone give me a minute alone with Awesome-O? And then everyone leaves the room, and he's like,
are you a pleasure unit?
weak.
Okay, the final clip we're going to be playing to cement my loss is clip number 9.
So wait, how many points?
That was 2 again.
2. So 2 and 2? 4.
and
So
it's
how many does he
17 and
need
a
for you
half.
to not be able to come back?
8 and 12 is what, 20?
Yeah.
I could get 12, so I get to 20. So
If I get perfect on this one, he would be
shot.
You have to get perfect for him to
4.
be.
I have to get full 4
for you to
points on
have
this
no
one.
for you to have no chance.
Yeah.
I like this.
Okay, and we're going to play that clip in 3, 2, 1.
Any interested students should fill out an applicant survey.
I love it.
Oh,
That was terrible. Now put your mouth over the
good.
barrel of this gun.
No, please. I'm so scared.
The video doesn't have the audience on because there is no video.
I'll do whatever you say.
you're just playing the audio.
No, it's just the students sitting in class. So here's no video.
Is it still frame?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a still frame, but it's very.
Look at
very
you now.
striking.
We're all
Okay,
dead.
that is from the South Park episode Dances with Smurfs. And that would be in season, I believe that's season 12, episode 10.
Incorrect.
No?
I'll show you a trend, which I totally didn't intend, but it turns out you'll see this a lot.
I did that too. Season whatever, same number of season as the
So
episode.
I've got season 10, episode 10, season 11, episode 11, season 13, episode 13.
Well, that was 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bizarre.
Dance with Smurfs is the one where the morning announcement kid gets murdered by a guy who mistakes his name for Gordon Stolsky, truck driver from wherever. Chicago. No, Gordon Stolsky, fourth grader or third grader reads the morning announcements. And so he gets killed. And then Cartman takes over the morning announcements.
Fuck my wife.
Yeah. And turns it into like this fucking
Glenn
Fox
Beck.
News, like Glenn Beck type show. And he ends up like all to try to get Wendy ousted from being school president. And the best thing is he's just asking questions. He writes this book that he sells. And then Stan comes and approaches him and says, "You can't write this shit about my girlfriend.
It's slander.
It's slander." And he reads the passage. Wendy is a dirty slut who would rather have her tits licked,
Lay on her back.
and have her tits licked than attend student council meetings. Turn the page, or is she?
Yeah. So he's only
He's just asking questions.
Just asking questions.
He's asking questions, that just trying to keep people informed and really root out the evil in this school.
So do you have
So 3 points for I got 3 points for that because I got the name.
You guess
of
the
episode.
plot. Yeah, you guess the name.
plot.
two,
Oh no, I didn't get the season right. I got 3 points for the other.
Actually, yeah, the way you weighted these are odd. Because like guessing season and episode, like I either one. Like if I was to weigh it, I'd be like, if you can. I don't know, whatever. It's weird that it has the same weight as the name and the description because those are easier, I would say.
Yeah. Certainly. I mean, I just didn't want to get into like a really complicated 3 points for this. Where we had to have scoring cards.
So 2-2-2, right?
I have to come. I don't have to do perfect to tie. I can fuck up one and only get 2. I have to get 4, 4, and 2, right?
You have to get. I'm at
No,
19. I'm at 19 and a half.
You're at 13 plus 6, 19 and a half. So I have 8 and a half.
13 and a half.
And I have 12 remaining. So I could get to 20 and a half. So I can lose 1 point.
Yeah. You have to get.
12.
You have to get 11 out of 12 to.
So I would
tie.
recommend, like tonight, you sit down, you watch From American Dad until you puke. I guess it depends on how many episodes we're filming today as well.
The thing that would here's something that can make you puke: drinking whole moose's milk.
Yes, this is from our sponsor.
I actually like
That's
that
not
stuff.
a sponsor. It's kind of like Bailey's, but better straight.
So thick.
Oh yeah, is this
I like
supposed
it's
to be
like
refrigerated
the second
after
I
lunch?
learned to like not really let it touch my
don't think
tongue.
so.
It's quite a pleasant drinking experience.
Like, I just can't hardly believe that. Like the first ingredient is cream.
Like there's no moose byproduct in that, is there?
Yeah, just moose.
Like semen, moose semen.
It's fucking good semen.
I don't have anything to compare it to. I've only had this type of semen.
I've had lots of semen, and that's some good semen. I've had
Is sperm
name a semen.
Is sperm semen, or is semen the fluid that carries sperm?
There's seminal fluid,
Yeah.
and then there's sperm.
Sperm
and
is
then
an individual cell.
cell. Yeah,
But is
Or a grouping
semen,
of cells.
does the word semen include sperm and seminal
I
fluid,
think
or-
so. I think it's a combination because I think seminal fluid.
No, because what about someone who had a vasectomy doesn't stop
Producing semen?
producing semen?
I think they might. Because I think
Well, you still like.
I'm actually
No,
not
no,
certain
you-
about this at
no.
all. But it's like
you
why?
specifically don't produce sperm cells. You
Well, that's
still,
what I'm-
You can still jizz.
Like, you
Yeah, but they
produce
produce
the
seminal
ejaculate.
seminal fluid is what I'm saying. Is what
But
they're
is
producing.
semen seminal fluid? Is that?
Yes,
one-
I would say
Like just
that-
by itself? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I
so
don't know.
because we don't. I wouldn't.
I'm just asking questions.
I
wouldn't-
No, I also don't know. But like, if I were just to guess, like it's weird to me that they would draw a distinction then between seminal fluid and semen. Like, why wouldn't if seminal fluid was just semen, why wouldn't they just call it semen? But they do make the distinction of calling it seminal fluid. So my guess would be that the combination
That's
of
fair enough.
sperm
Fair
and
enough.
seminal fluid becomes semen. And if you don't produce sperm anymore, you ejaculate
Let's see what
seminal
Google,
fluid.
let's see what Google says.
I would, yeah.
Cheers. After we'll find out after we drink this.
Yeah, like all you'd have to do is look up the definition of semen.
What is the definition of semen?
Here's
Here's the definition of semen: the male reproductive fluid containing spermatozoa in suspension.
It has spermatozoa in
So if you have a vasectomy, you don't jizz semen no more. Just seminal fluid.
Correct. He was very correct. I will.
It's not that
I will concede again, and then an additional concession.
It's not that I disagree.
I was going to say,
more
none of
so-
you really had anything to concede. You especially, you didn't even disagree.
It was more so. I more so meant like, so technically that's correct, but like, who refers like, if I had a vasectomy, which I eventually will, I wouldn't refer. Like,
When do you get the nut switch?
if it becomes a thing soon?
You can get it. Germans have it.
Okay, you know
I have
what's
to go
wild?
to Germany though.
When you said that, my initial, like the first thought I had is like, you
Swap?
can get your left and your right nut swap. Why would you do that?
Nut switch, they call that.
And I'm like, I kind of want to do that just because of the pointlessness of the entire thing. And
You want them to hang differently because
and-
usually what I think it's your right nut is usually. the
I've
one that
had
hangs.
2 different friends who have had their nut sacks surgically opened and had the balls dumped on a table so they could fuck around with them.
What?
Yeah, I have 2 different
Oh,
friends
yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough.
who have had their nut sacks
Who's the
split
second
with
one?
a scalpel. I don't want to say.
But somebody had a
Tell me off camera.
what's when the organs fucking, you get a hole and the shit starts going. A very common thing that happens to people. It's
Colostomy bag?
no.
Is that what you're talking?
No. Like a fissure develops in your tissue, and so then you might have
Hernia.
like what?
A hernia.
Hernia. That's what I'm talking about. What, did one of them have a
Yeah,
hernia?
one of them had a hernia. The
Yes.
other one had a second set of veins. Like a whole second vascular system in their entire body. And a small second rib cage inside the rib cage where a
Did they
heart was supposed
absorb
to
a
develop.
twin?
Something like that.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. A friend that we
That's-
went to high school with had a second rib cage inside his rib cage.
Did he have his second rib cage removed?
No, it's cool. So we had one guy at school that had a convex or had a concave
Cave?
rib, something was deformed in his chest, so his chest caved in. And then our other friend had a convex chest thing, and one time they pushed them together, and the one stuck the other one inside.
I don't like that.
So yeah, he had a second smaller rib cage around his heart. So like he had a double rib cage over his heart. Like there was a small rib cage protecting his heart, and then another rib cage, and then he had a full second set of veins in his body that were not used.
They were just,
They were supposed to be for the second heart.
there's no blood in them. Wild. It's weird that his body didn't just absorb that tissue. That's
Yeah,
It
and
actually
they had to
caused a
cut
bunch of
them-
problems,
Cut him
yeah.
out of his balls.
Yeah, I guess it would probably cause undue fucking traffic jams and shit in the body.
I don't know what the medical term is, but it was all frigged up.
Yeah.
So there's a little interesting fact. I had 2 friends who they brought. I'll tell you the story of the one friend. I probably have told the story on the podcast before. But this particular friend went in for the operation, and he was sitting. And he's like, "This is the coldest room ever. This room that they're prepping me for surgery, and it's just frigid." And all he's got in his little nightgown, and he of course the person who's leading him into surgery is just like this gorgeous nurse or whatever she was, or anesthesiologist, whoever brought him in the room. And she just is, of course, she's a bombshell. And he lays on his back, and they're kind of just like, "Do you prefer like to tape it off to the left, or because she has to tape his dick down?" And he's just thinking to himself, like, at this point, you might as well just grab one of those little bandages used to cover when you get an injection, and just push the head down, stick the bandage on top, and just poke the turtle head back in and just tape it down. And so she's like, "Do you want it left or right?" He's like, "There's nothing to, you can't pull it side to side.
I'm
It's
not
just a
dangling.
Nub. It's a nub, but like, I don't know what you want from me." And of course, as he describes it, she was just drop dead gorgeous, and like, just put my little peeker back in and put a Band-Aid over it.
That is a weird thing, just speaking about the etiquette with
The genital?
medical wear. Because it's like I've had checkups before, but it's like nobody instructs you on how to put the thing on or how it's supposed to go on, and different places use different things. Like some use paper sheets and some use plastic and whatever. But it's weird to me that it's like you go in, they have an expectation that you know how to put it on, so they're like, "Please put that on," and you're like, and it's like, I don't know which one's the armhole or the head hole. Like, do I take my underwear off? Do I keep my underwear on? Do I
What
keep?
the fuck
It's like
would I-
what is the exact protocol here? What do you need from me? Because it's like
yeah.
if you're just doing an
They
examination,
always give you that look. It's like, you know what to do.
When
And it's like,
I don't. It's like I went to fucking. My girlfriend got a massage for us a while back.
I was just gonna say this.
And so anyway, so she just comes in. She's like, "Hey, you good to go?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay." And I even said, "I'm like, this is my first massage. Like, I don't really know what's going on." And she's like, "All right, lay on that table or whatever." So like, great. She leaves. I didn't realize there's a towel that was put on top of me. So it's like I'm down in my underwear and I'm laying on the table on my stomach. And she comes back in and then she's like, "Oh, you're supposed to put the towel over top." And I'm like, how the fuck, where, what towel? And then there's like a place that people just know that there's towels that you're supposed to
I
put
was
on
very
top. It's
lucky
like,
that
I didn't fucking know.
my first massage was again very recently, and I went in, and she's like, "So yeah, just strip down, but obviously don't take your underwear off, and then the towel's right over there." And I was like, "Oh God, like you had to tell me to not take my underwear off, which means people have taken their underwear off, and you now this is a prerequisite of you having people come in here is to explicitly inform them not to get completely naked."
How incredible would it be? She leave because they give you whatever the minute or 2 minutes to get ready. It's like you just naked, you lay face up, and you get hard as a rock. And she walks back in, just like,
we have the
what do they do?
You have the towel on, hard as a rock. So it's just like, you're ready. I was like,
then you pull
but then you say something like, I was hoping we could start with the pecs
Yeah, start on the chest.
or the quads.
She
Start with the
starts,
quads.
you pull a whoops.
Yeah. Ooh.
Do you remember
keep pulling my underwear up and like really getting in? And I was like, "Ooh, that's close."
Do you remember the Borat behind the scenes massage thing? You know, one of the deleted scenes.
No.
He goes to like get a massage. And he goes to like to sit on the head as if he's gonna take a shit.
Oh,
And
right.
like the masseuse comes in and he's like, "And now you give me full release. And you start him, you finish him."
Yeah, all right. And she's like,
So
no,
good.
I don't do that here.
It's a man.
As a man? Oh.
It's like a balding man with a beard.
Oh, fuck, that's funny. You start him, you finish him.
So funny.
I really do like that makes me think of, Borat kind of like fighting against like injustices against certain people in his own way, like not being, it's like gays are bad, but then he also acts gay a bunch of the time. It very much reminds me of like Wheeler Walker Jr., who's like super redneck country, but he always talks about sucking guys' dicks and it's like subversive. Is that what you call it? Like,
Yeah.
It's like a subversive.
Yeah, it forces people to confront ideas they're not comfortable with.
In a medium that they're
it's like I love this redneck shit. I love redneck shit. And it's like,
what redneck shit do you love? It's like eating tater tots and pussy sucking Mountain Dew and tits.
Yeah, it's like
so what about the
I
sucking
jacked
dick
off
part?
my brother and sucked him off. I mean the incest.
Put a dildo in my asshole.
You ain't a
to see
real
if it would fit.
redneck unless you sucked your brother's dick.
That's
It's like that's Wheeler Walker Jr., baby.
I need this. I need some action. I need it quick. Which one of you boys is going to suck my dick?
It's a different word he uses, but yes.
That's what I really liked.
It is a fantastic. Like Borat's wonderful. Like it's so good at that. It's like forcing the people that usually would be so anti-gay or whatever. It's like you confront them with somebody who perceivably is more conservative than they are just because of their culture or whatever, and then confronting them with these gay ideals that it's like they have to really sit and think about, why am I uncomfortable about this? It's like it's brilliant. I love that type of humor because it's not lecturing somebody, it's not preaching to anybody. It is literally just forcing somebody to like confront, why are you so uncomfortable about this?
And showing side by side, like.
Well, I also like the idea of
difference
like,
between
for
the two.
example, with Wheeler Walker, it's like I don't like that because I grew up country. I'm country. That's why I don't like that. It's like I'm more country than you, and I also like blowing guys in the bathroom at bars.
That's the thing.
I says I paid anyway. I sucked his dick and I kicked his ass.
Actually, producer, because we're at about that time, would you mind getting the outro ready and just letting us know when the outro is ready to go?
Thanks again so much, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the Prehistoric Podcast. I think it's always important to remember that we are some of the most forthwith, intelligent, caring, considerate, remarkable, in-depth, and decisive human beings who have ever graced God's green earth.
I guess just a final point to end on is because I don't think we've mentioned it in any of the episodes so far, is recently, speaking of Borat, they released a Borat 2. And if you haven't seen it, get your head out of your ass, get an Amazon Prime subscription, and watch Borat 2.
It is well worth it.
Yeah, it is
Well worth it.
it is a fantastic sequel to a wonderful original film. But yeah, in saying that, watch fucking Borat 2. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Prehistoric Podcast.
Thank you to Time Warner for your sponsorship of today's episode.
Your acquisition of this company.
Thank you for your acquisition.
We'll see you later.
And
Good night.
yes.